The main science class that I taught at Max Born Gymnasium was biology, and this was particularly because it was offered as a bilingual class, and students took the class in English with some German vocabulary reinforcement. The following clip shows me discussing DNA structure with the ninth grade class. We'll start by, I guess, reviewing the DNA structure, which is one of the things we talked about last time. So, does anybody remember the term that we use to describe the structure of DNA, like in general? What is it? Yeah? Yeah, so double helix is the general structure of the DNA, and it's basically two chains that are connected to each other, and then they form a spiral like a double helix. And so each DNA molecule has basically a backbone strand, which is the sugar and the phosphate. And then, does anybody know what is attached to this backbone strand? Does anybody remember what the units are? Yeah?
I think it was sugar.
No, so the backbone is made out of sugar and phosphate. So this they show it here as like this little, I guess T sort of is the sugar phosphate backbone. What is attached to it? Yep.
The base pairs?
Yeah, so a single base, and then here, when the bases are bonded to each other, that's called a base pair. So, can somebody give me one of the base pairs? Yep. Yep.
It's adenine and thymine, and guanine and cytosine.
Okay, yeah, so that's both of them then. That's the adenine and thymine pair with each other, and guanine and cytosine pair with each other. Okay, and does anybody know what the structure of RNA looks like, or how is it different from DNA? Yep.
With adenine pairs U.
Yeah, so adenine pairs U, and does anybody know what U is or what it stands for? Anybody remember? Uracil. So U is uracil.
It's only one helix.
Yeah, and a single helix. Okay, good job. Yeah, so it basically looks like DNA, except just imagine that you take one of these strands out, and then it's just one strand that spirals and doesn't have any interaction with the other strand, with another strand. In addition to teaching science, I also found myself in a lot of English and history classes because teachers were excited at the fact that they had a native speaker and thought that it would be good exposure for their students. One of the common themes I had to discuss was the U.S. political system, and the following clip shows me describing the Electoral College to a 10th grade class. Okay, so the numbers on this map are something called electoral votes. So in the U.S., our presidential election system is a lot more complicated than most countries, in that it's not that the person who has the most votes doesn't necessarily win. It's sort of, so say somebody has 51% and the other person has 49%. The 51% person could still lose because of the system that we have, which is called the Electoral College. So this started basically when our country was founded. The founding fathers sort of set up this system where each state is given a certain number of delegates or electors to the Electoral College. And so these are so the numbers here actually represent an actual number of people from the state who are sent after the presidential election. They're sent to a place called the Electoral College, where they basically cast the votes on behalf of their state. So it's obviously really confusing even to a lot of Americans, but a simple way of understanding this is, so you see all these numbers on the map. So say in New Jersey, for example, Barack Obama got 52% of the vote in this election, and John McCain, who he was running against, got 48%. Then what would happen is that Obama would get all 15 of the electors from New Jersey. So it's a winner-take-all system. So that way, even if in the nation as a whole, if you don't win the popular vote, if you get the important states, say you win California, that's 55 of them. So even if you only have 51% in California, you still get all 55 of those electoral votes from California. So basically, by focusing on the big states, a lot of candidates are able to win even if they don't have a majority of the popular vote. Although usually it works out that the people who have the majority also have the majority here. But I think it's sort of an interesting system that a lot of people feel is unfair.